Hello, welcome to a video demonstration of Cityworks PLL, Permits, Licensing, and Land. My name is Aaron Veve. I'm a business analyst with the Public Works team at Esri Canada. I will be providing this demonstration to illustrate the many functionalities available in Cityworks PLL. To do this, I will be covering a sample workflow for processing road use permits. We will be completing a sample business process that could require weeks or months within a short period of time. Keep in mind that I will be touching on multiple sections of Cityworks PLL. However, based on roles and responsibilities, typical end users would normally only interact with 1 to 2 parts of the system based on their granted permission levels. The sample workflow I will be using for this demonstration is as follows. I will start off by acting as an applicant or contractor to electronically submit a road use permit in PLL's public access portal. Upon successful submission, we will then log in as city staff in PLL's Respond application to intake, review, and issue the permit. Along the way, I will highlight features of Respond. To perform an inspection, I will showcase Cityworks' native mobile app to conduct an inspection while on site. We will then transition back to the computer and show the PLL interface in the Office version of Cityworks PLL and highlight integration points to AMS. Finally, I will wrap up the demo by highlighting the reporting features of Cityworks PLL. So let's begin. Public Access is an external-facing portal for electronic permit application submission, tracking, and management. Public Access provides the ability for cities to share real-time information on the status of the permit application during processing back to the applicants. Cityworks administrators have full control over what information is available to the public through this portal, and they can customize the electronic submission form as desired. This is the login page for applicants and contractors to log into Public Access. If they don't have an account, they can click on Sign Up, fill out the form, and click Register, at which point the city's PLL administrator is notified, and they can approve the account and determine which functionalities the user has access to. I'm going to log in using my test account. Let's take a moment to look at the Public Access user interface. The main action button at the top will start a new application. The bell icon brings up the message board. The icon will be highlighted if there are unread messages. This tool can be configured to provide announcements, such as holiday closures or links to supporting information. You can also set up an expiry date so that the messages automatically disappear after a given date. There are 2 main tabs in the home page of Public Access, Submitted and Incomplete. Submitted lists a full history of this account's successfully submitted application. It also shows high-level information about the application, such as the application number, the location, the description, the status, and the date of creation. All of the permit applications that are submitted are also visually displayed on the map below. The briefcase icons each represent a permit application, and clicking on them provides a similar high-level information about the application. The Action drop-down provides the ability for the user to perform additional functionalities such as reviewing the application, requesting inspections, paying fees, and printing the permit card itself. If a user manages many permit applications, there is also a Sort drop-down to sort by various methods. It's also worth mentioning that Public Access is mobile responsive and can be used on mobile devices through any mobile browsers. Let's start a new application by clicking on Create Application. We have categorized the available permit types to help end users easily find the proper application type. As you can see, we have exposed residential permits, commercial permits, severance permits, road occupancy, zoning applications. Multiple departments can expose their applications through the same public access portal, creating a centralized electronic permit application submission portal. Once submitted, the application would be directed to the proper department and responsible individuals would be notified. The Cityworks administrator can control which permit types are available through public access. Not all permits have to be exposed. I will select the road occupancy application category for this demo. As you can see, we can have multiple application forms within each category. Under the road occupancy category, we have exposed 3 application forms, and each form can have their own customized form fields and flow. The question mark icons are essentially help icons beside each permit type, and it provides an additional information about the permit to assist the user in selecting the right permit type. I will select Utility Installation for this demo and click Begin Application to start the application. The application form opens. There are 5 steps to this particular application, and each step must be completed before proceeding to the next. The first step requests a description of the application and location. For the address, I can type a sample address like 1017 Kingston Road, and the organization's geocoding service can be set up to return suggestions. Alternatively, I can use the interactive map to the side to select an address for my application. And then click Next. In the People section, I am prompted to provide information about the applicant, contractor, and other contacts. This section can be customized to have only one person's information or many classified as desired. I will click on Use My Information for the system to pull in my existing account information instead of retyping everything. The Details section allows me to provide additional information regarding the application. This section can act as the primary electronic application form. The administrator has the ability to control which fields are available in this section and can even make some fields required, such as the requested dates highlighted in red. The Details section can be customized by the administrator to include subsections like this to keep data fields in logical groupings. In the Related Documents section, I can submit all required or optional documentation for the permit application. The See Required toggle will show me what documents are required. So in this example, the Traffic Management and Control Plan, the map drawing, and the certificate of insurance is required. I can click on the Show Map button to open up the map and perform markups to output a sketch of exactly where the work is to be done. So I'll choose the red color Align tool, and this is where our work is to be done, 1017 Kingston Road, and do a quick markup. But there's also an array of other tools to do additional markups. And I will click on Save Map Image to save that picture to the application file, and I'll label it as the map drawing. Let's upload the relevant and required documentation. So the certificate of insurance and the traffic control plan. The next step is to designate which file is which of the required documentation. To do this, I will set the appropriate labels to them. So the certificate of insurance and the traffic plan. Then we'll click Next. In the payment section, I can review the fees calculated for this particular permit. These fees are calculated based on the current fee schedule configured in PLL Admin Dashboard. PLL supports automatic fee updates based on effective dates. This means that administrators could define rates for, say, the next 3 years. Any application submitted on January 1st would automatically have the new fee amounts for that year. For the demo site, we have configured public access to submit without payments. However, public access can be configured with PayPal or Authorize.net. This is optional. Some organizations may prefer applicants to pay for their permit in person or after intake. In that situation, payment options can be hidden. For this demo, I will move forward without paying my fees for now and submit. We have the ability to present a terms and conditions page where acceptance is requested prior to submission. This is also optional. I will select accept and proceed. Cityworks is now creating the application, and I will be brought to an overview page. We can see that a file number has been assigned and that our status is set to intake. This status will update as the permit progresses through the workflow in PLL. Cityworks will send a notification email to the applicant and the designated city staff or a general email account informing of a successful new permit application submission. I'll switch over to the test account and show the email. And this is an example of the email that the notification will provide. Coming back to public access, if I scroll down, I can see the full details of my permit application. This is a public view of the permit information in PLL. The permit application details can be set to be view only or some sections editable if desired. I can see the information I provided as well as the permit review workflow details over here. I can easily track the permit's progress through the application lifecycle through this portal. Once again, the administrator can determine what information is exposed and not. I will go back to the home page. Now I can see my recently submitted application show up in the Submitted tab. To view all details of the submitted application, I can select Review Application in the Actions drop-down to go back to the details page of the submission. I'll go back to the home page. To continue an application that is incomplete, I will go to the Incomplete tab and choose Continue Application in the Actions drop-down. And this will take me directly back to where I left off an application. This completes the overview of public access and how to electronically submit a sample road use permit application. Let's explore Cityworks PLL in the Respond app version 2.0. Respond is a mobile responsive version of Cityworks. PLL in the Respond app will allow users such as field workers to conduct permit processing while on a tablet or mobile device. However, it can also be used on a desktop computer. Respond requires a constant internet connection, but does offer additional features, including access to the complete case history. Digital signatures are also supported in the most recent release. I will be proceeding with the sample road use permit workflow, particularly performing the intake and review tasks for the electronically submitted application from public access. I will also be issuing the permit. I will then show how to process an application that is submitted offline, for example, a scanned application that is submitted via email or an in-person submission with the hard copy. Let's get started with Cityworks PLL using the Respond app. This is the Cityworks version 15.5 login page. Cityworks now has a single sign-on feature in which it remembers the last used app and takes you directly to that app upon signing in again. You can always easily switch apps once logged in. I will now log in using my Test City Road user account. I am brought to the dashboard management screen. Let's take a moment to look at the user interface of Respond 2.0. The menu is on the left where we can access several functionalities. Dashboard takes us to the dashboard management page. Asset details is where users can interact with assets in a variety of ways, including highlighting assets on the map, creating work orders and inspections, and editing attributes if they have the right security level. Recent is where users can quickly access their recently opened cases and inspections or related service requests and work orders. Create is where users can easily create cases and inspections or related service requests and work orders. Task Manager is an alternative method to access assigned tasks. And the user menu allows users to change their basic user settings like color theme. Additionally, a user can switch to other Cityworks apps like to the Office app. Let's go back to the dashboard management screen and proceed. Users can have a variety of dashboards for different activities or needs. This is particularly useful for staff who need to view multiple departments' work activities or to create logical groupings of data by a variety of dashboards within a large department. As you can see, there are 3 dashboards created for road use permits. I can add a new dashboard to start from scratch, or I can clone an existing one and modify as required. I can also edit existing ones. Each of these dashboards can be shared with other users with varying permission levels. This is done so in the Permissions section. Once a dashboard is selected, I can see which users have permission to view or edit the dashboard. Currently, my test road user account owns the dashboard and no one else has been given any permission. I can add permissions by clicking on Add Permission and selecting a specific user or a group or the entire organization. For this example, I will use Briggs Tim. Once a user has been provided with permissions, the dashboard will be available to them on their next login. I can also delete permissions, and I can also transfer ownership of a dashboard to a specific user. Let's take a look at the Road Use Permits dashboard by clicking on View. This is a sample dashboard created to display various widgets available in Cityworks Respond 2.0. This dashboard provides a quick view of the business operations for road use permits in a given department. The dashboard layout and what widgets are displayed is highly customizable to user and department needs. This information is provided at real time. As you can see, I'm able to quickly see what new applications have come in. The one we submitted from public access for 1017 Kingston Boulevard is at the top. And we can also see which permits are under review. We can see which permits are issued. On the map to the right, I have a visual of all the issued permits. This can be modified to show different icons for different parameters such as permit types or current status of applications. Below, I have 2 sample charts. The first chart is a pie chart breaking down the permit application based on status, and the second is a bar chart showing a count of issued permits per month. I can quickly drill down to the widgets to open individual cases. For example, if I click on Intake in the pie chart, it opens a list of all the intake cases, and I will choose the latest one and click Open Case. When we open a case, we are presented with the case summary page. This case is the same application we submitted through public access previously. The case summary page provides an overview of the permit's components. Each component is collapsible and expandable for an adjustable user experience. Or clicking on this little icon allows you to collapse all the components. Each permit can be configured with a different set of components. Therefore, we can expose or hide components based on the required functionality for that specific permit type. We can see the case type, road use permit number, and status in the main panel. These attributes are being determined by the system based on configuration settings. For the permit number, we have control over the file number format. You can also set a different prefix value, date formats, and counting parameters. The main panel provides users with basic information regarding the permit. All submitted information from public access is pulled in and shown in the case summary page. However, the city staff have the ability to edit some fields when necessary. For example, the People panel is populated with our applicant, contractor, and contact details provided through public access. However, we can still edit it. We can also add additional attachments if we'd like. Let's take a closer look at the Workflow panel. Workflows are the core of PLL and consist of a series of tasks that occur in a predefined order. Cityworks administrators have complete control over the workflow configuration. This means that each organization can configure PLL workflows based on their unique business process and tasks. As part of PLL implementation, we will work with an organization to map their current business process, identify opportunities to increase efficiency, and migrate into PLL. In this sample road use permit workflow, you can see there are 5 main tasks: intake, review, issue, inspection, and closing the file. Clicking on View Graph gives a visual representation of the workflows and tasks ahead. Cityworks administrators can also allow users to create ad hoc tasks. For example, if an applicant has requested to withdraw or cancel an application, the city staff can input a cancel task to cancel the file. That added task can also be deleted. The only task that I'm able to set a result for at this time is the intake task. I cannot proceed in the workflow until this task is completed. So let's complete the task by clicking the Edit button. As you can see, the task is currently assigned to my test account. However, I can reassign this task to another user or a group. If you scroll down, I also have a checklist as part of the task to complete. In this example, I need to ensure a sketch and a certificate of insurance is provided by the applicant. Those can be found in the attachment section. So let's go take a look. So in the attachment sections, we have a map drawing, which we can open. And we also have a certificate of insurance, which we can open. And then let's go back to the actual task. We can also provide additional comments. We can also attach related documents to this specific task. Let's complete the checklist. And click Save. Let's also verify that we have all of the other required information to ensure the application is complete. Things to look out for could be the case data group and ensure that all of the information provided here is valid. And again, to also verify the second group. It's also good to verify that the people contact information is valid. And then also to verify the address. Notice that the address panel currently displays the address information input from public access. However, there is no street asset information associated to the application yet. I can now use the provided address to link the application to the street asset. To do so, I will open the map by using the split view toggles. This allows me to work with both the case and the map in one screen. I can also use the full map view if that is preferred. So I'll go back to the split view. And Cityworks Maps uses HTML5, which means users can access the form in any device, including phones or tablets. When I open the map, we are brought to the full extent of our map service. Each user can configure their own initial extent. For example, if a user is assigned to a specific district, or perhaps they're responsible for overseeing a specific lower tier municipality, then their map could automatically zoom to their work area. The GIS layers are coming directly from the organization's GIS services, and they are dynamic. Therefore, any updates to the GIS data are automatically displayed in Cityworks when the map is refreshed. We can currently see boundaries, hydrology, and parks. As I zoom in, additional layers become visible. Cityworks is respecting the visibility settings configured for the map service. As I zoom into street level, property details are also available and visible, and the street information is also showing. In the legend, we can see all the configured map layers. The map can be configured based on the needs of each user. For example, users in Group A could have access to different layers than users in Group B. This allows the Cityworks maps to be efficient for all users, regardless of role or department. The map automatically highlights the location of our application, and I can select the street that is nearby. Let's collapse the legend, zoom out a bit, select a selection tool. Let's choose the road, and that highlights the street portion that will be affected. And then let's go back to address and click plus, load from selected assets from map, and as you can see, the street asset is selected. Now let's click save to link to the application. And the street asset ID is attached. I can also view the history of the selected street asset by clicking on Asset Details. Let's select the asset. Provides all of the details regarding the asset and also the history related to that asset. And as you can see, there are two related work orders, and if I wanted to, I could drill down into the work order and find out more information. Currently, the status of these work orders are closed. So let's head back to our application. Let's proceed with processing the application and completing the application intake task. Once we're satisfied that the application is complete, we can select complete. And the task is successfully updated, and the second task of application review is generated, and we can now edit it. Since this task is not assigned to anyone as of yet, let's choose myself and click Save. And any tasks that are assigned to a particular user will show up in the task manager. So for example, this application review task has appeared here. Let's go back to the same application. If an application review renders a negative result, we can choose Resubmit, and that reinserts the application review task for further input from the applicant. For the purpose of the demo, I have approved the application review to proceed with the application workflow. Before we can issue the permit, we'll need to ensure that the conditions are correct. In the Conditions panel, you can see that there are predefined conditions based on permit type already populated automatically. We can add new conditions that are predefined. We can edit a condition. We can also delete a condition. We can also preview the permit card itself before we issue it. To do this, I will go to the main panel, and over here where it says Download Report, I would select the road use permit, and that starts to download, and I can preview the permit itself. And this is a sample permit. The permit layout, branding, and content can be customized to the organization's requirements. The issue date is blank because we have not issued the permit yet. Let's go back to the case summary page. Another great feature in PLL is that the workflow task can be configured to ensure that parameters such as conditions, data groups, people, fees, and many more components of the permit are completed before proceeding to another step in the workflow. For example, if I try to issue the permit by completing the issue task, I will get an error message saying all fees must be paid. This is because I have not processed or documented any fees. So let's take a closer look at the fees panel before issuing the permit. I can see that fees are currently unpaid and there's an outstanding fee of $150. Default fees based on permit type and user input in data groups can be set up to generate fees automatically in PLL. This increases the efficiency of processing the application. The default application fees can always be changed. For example, we have the ability to review the fees associated to the permit before they are paid. We can also waive the fee by clicking Edit and clicking Waive Fee. We can also delete a fee by selecting the fee and clicking Delete. And we can also add fees. So when I click on the option to add new fees, I'm presented with a list of fees configured in PLL. These are predefined. The list can be the full fee schedule and can be set up automatically to apply fee increases when the schedule updates. Fees can also be linked to the case data group, and based on the input of a given field in the custom case data group, the fees can automatically be calculated. For example, if a square meters field has a value that is above a certain amount, the related fees to that amount can be applied. The Recalculate button can be used to refresh the fee amount after city staff have done edits to the permits and parameters. I will now pay the fee. In the payment panel, I will click the plus icon to create a payment. Payments made offline can be documented in PLL, and accompanying receipts can be generated as well. So over here, I'll select the fee that I want to pay, or I can also select all if I have many. I'll choose the tender type, where these values can be customized. The full amount for the fee item is auto-populated. I can also reduce the fee if a partial payment has been made, or I can keep it the same and then click Make Payment. Once I make the payment, the fees panel and the payment panel is updated. As you can see, there's a new payment of $150 with the tender type of cash, and there is also no unpaid amount value, and the paid amount value is also auto-populated. This is a very simple example of the fees module in PLL. I can now proceed to issue the permit. PLL can be configured to automatically send a notification email with the issued permit attached to the applicant's email. When I switch to my test client account's email address, I will see that a new email has come in, and I can see a sample notification and attached permit card in PDF. And this would be the same PDF that was generated in PLL. The email content can be customized. This notification was sent with an attached Crystal report. Crystal Reports is a powerful reporting tool. It allows organizations to customize templates. In this manner, notifications could be sent out on a standard template or letterhead. Notifications with PDFs can be sent out to clients for multiple purposes, such as when an applicant has submitted an incomplete application with missing required documents, the notification PDF can be customized to automatically list the missing items. It can also be set up to use digital signatures. There is a logic built in to check the user ID of the login who completed the given task and insert their signature. Switching back to the Respond app of PLL, I can access the same permit card using the Download Report feature in the main panel. Now that the permit has been issued, we can see the status change reflected in our dashboards. So I'll navigate back to the Dashboards Management screen, click View on Road Use Permits dashboard, and if we go to the Issued Permits map or the Issued Permits list, you can go to the next page, and here it is, 051. So we can open that case, and the status is also reflected here. The next step in the workflow is to do a final inspection. There are a few ways to schedule an inspection in Cityworks PLL. One way is that city staff can schedule an inspection based on offline correspondence with the client. To do this, I will select Final Inspection Task, select the additional options, and schedule an inspection. And in this screen, I can provide the requester name, phone number, location details, and comments. I can also specify which inspector to assign the inspection to. I can also provide a target start date and time and a target end date and time. These dates and times would adhere to the time off and availability of the given inspector. Now I will switch over to public access to show how a client can request an inspection. I'm now back in public access using my test client account. I can see the submitted file we've been working on. To request an inspection, I will click on the Actions drop-down and click Request Inspection. This will take me to the Schedule Inspection for Application page. On this page, I can select the type of inspection I'd like to request. The available types of inspection for the client is fully controlled by the PLL administrator. Once I select the RUP Final Inspection, I'm presented with a list of availabilities which adhere to the set availability of a given inspector or time block set by the PLL administrator. As a client, I can now select a mutual time and schedule the inspection. Back on Cityworks Respond app, I can see that in the workflow for the final inspection task, there's a new icon indicating that an inspection has been scheduled. Now we'll switch over to the Cityworks native app to conduct the inspection. The native app is available on Android or iOS. The great thing about the native app is that it allows for inspectors to work offline. For example, inspectors could complete their inspection notes while working in a remote area without cellular service. The app will store the completed work, and they can sync the updates once they have service again. Upon logging in, the app will sync with the latest information available. Once I'm signed in, any assigned tasks in inspection will appear on the map. I can use the pop-up to open the inspection from the map, or I can navigate to the inbox to view a list of inspections. Let's click on the available road use permit final inspection task. As you can see, the inspection description shows me some basic information including the road use permit number and also some address information. In order to navigate to the actual address, I can click on Share, More, Map Application, and that can open up my native Maps app and take me directly to get directions to that location. Coming back to Cityworks, let's complete the final inspection task. There are 5 checklist items remaining to be completed. These items are completely customizable by the PLL administrator based on the permit type. As an inspector on site, I can quickly answer these questions. I can also provide comments. And now our checklist is completed. Before we provide a result for the task, we can also add comments. And we can also add attachments. Let's complete the task by selecting Rehab to illustrate how work orders can be automatically created based on the result of a task. Let's sync our work. Now we have completed the inspection task using the native app. Office is a full-featured application of Cityworks, which is best used on a desktop computer. When I first sign in, I am brought to the Cityworks inbox. The inbox can be thought of as an interactive dashboard displaying real-time information on current activities in Cityworks. This is similar to the dashboards in the Respond app of Cityworks. I am currently viewing the Welcome tab, which can be configured to show department notifications and announcements, as well as the current weather. The inbox supports HTML widgets, therefore you could embed features such as live traffic data as well. The user can configure a variety of tabs displayed across the top of the inbox. Cityworks administrators can configure tabs that are shared between users. In addition, users can have their own tabs displaying information that is relevant only to their role or department. This user's tab has a road use permits widget configured. On this widget, we can see high-level information about the permit application, and we can use the case ID link to drill down into the actual application details to process it further. To the right, there is a chart showing permits by status, which is similar to the Respond app. We can also drill down further into the actual applications themselves. If we sort the application numbers, we can see our latest application is listed as well. This is the summary page for the case in PLL in the Office version of Cityworks. The Summary tab provides an overview of the permit components. Each component is also displayed in an individual tab found on the permit menu. Each permit type can be configured with a different set of tabs, so we can expose or hide tabs based on the required functionality for that specific type. We can see the case type, permit number, and status across the top panel. The workflow panel shows the same task that we were working on in the Respond app of Cityworks. As you can see, the RUP final inspection has a result of rehab. The task has been configured that if rehab is the result chosen by the inspector, then a work order is to be automatically generated. We can drill down straight into the work order to process it further if desired. This illustrates the seamless integration between functionalities of AMS and PLL. We can go back to the permit by going to the related work activities and clicking on the permit ID. And if we needed to start a related work activity such as service request, a work order, or a child permit, or link an existing permit, we can do that in this section. I will now illustrate how city staff can process an application that is submitted offline and not through the public access portal. For example, a scanned application that is submitted via email or an in-person submission with the hard copy. There are a few ways to do this. In Office, we can click on New Application and click Create a New Application. To show how it's done on the Respond app, let's switch back to the Respond app. To access the Respond app, we'll click on the User menu and click Respond. And this will take us to the Respond app. Now I'm back in Respond's dashboard management screen. In the left menu panel, I can click on the plus icon to create. And I can create a case, inspection, service request, or work order. For PLL, we'll choose case, and I'm presented with a list of categories. The PLL administrator has full control over which categories are exposed based on their department or user security roles. I will select the road occupancy category, and the permit types are listed. For this example, I will select curb cut entrance and click Create. We are presented with a new case summary with the permit types defaults, such as the conditions, fees, and workflow tasks populated. A new RUP permit number is assigned and the status is set to intake. The city staff can now process the application by following the workflow task and begin by performing the intake task. I can now start adding the people information, the addresses and related GIS assets, and adding the required related documents. The newly created case will now show up on all associated dashboards. So let's go back to the dashboard screen. And let's select the curb cut entrance dashboard and click View. And as you can see, the latest one shows up. And we can drill back down into the case. To wrap up the demo, I will return to PLL in Office mode to generate reports. The inbox can be configured with a separate PLL Reports tab. If I select this tab, I can launch reports directly from the inbox. I can configure my Reports tab to have multiple panels and widgets to logically organize my reports based on permit type, department, or function. Reports are configured using Crystal Reports, and they can be customized in many ways to generate information needed for specific reporting needs, such as to find out information about which permits have paid their fees or not, or to generate a daily, weekly, or monthly progress report of a given department's workload. Let's generate the Paid Permits report. The report opens up in a new tab. The styling and format can be customized to fit the organization's branding. From here, I could save the report as a PDF or generate an Excel file. From here, I can send this off by email or store it in my local drive. That concludes this video demonstration of Cityworks PLL for road use permits. Thank you.